Everything was just, I've got to get home, I've got to get home. I said, right, just put one foot in front of the other. Just focus on one foot in front of the other. And then we came to an open space and there was yellow, like yellow buttercups. So just look at the yellow. Just look at the yellow. And then I said, right, let's just in and out. Because he wasn't going to do anything. He was so like, oh, don't talk to me. You don't listen. Don't talk to me about that. And we just did a step, holding each other and doing it. Don't push it. Just calm. Transformed.
You're in the middle of a crisis and you can't think.
Can you hear that, Schmu? Yeah.
You've got this routine you've learned in the workshop and immediately you set yourself up to fail because it's completely different when you've got symptoms. When you've got symptoms, everything crashes. So, you know, a 5-second maximum pause would be good enough to get started. It just doesn't matter. You just start.
Yeah, that's what I felt we had to do. Just do something.
Yeah, well, something rather than nothing.
I wouldn't have done it without Nikki. I had a cold, I had a really bad cold. I had flu and I had a cough, and I started to do it and doing it by myself. And I wanted to do it because Nikki was doing it. Also, is that I'm curious. I wanted to know what would happen. I'm interested in my health, and I wanted to know what it would be like if I did this. If I did this and I got up to a certain level, how would life be different? So I was doing it much more as an experiment, as well as doing it with Nikki.
You had your own issues that you didn't think you had.
I had my own issues, which I didn't think I had. Having done it, it's like my life is totally changed to what it was. I'm a teacher, and I used to get exhausted regularly. It's always about your energy level and exhaustion the whole time. I used to get headaches as well. I used to drink much more, used to drink quite a lot of alcohol. I used to come home, crash in the evening, and need to drink and sweet stuff. My energy level was completely, it was really, you know, life was tough. And I think the most difficult thing was having depressive thoughts, regularly having depressive thoughts. Since I've done this breathing, my life is completely different. My energy is totally fine now. Teaching doesn't exhaust me. I'm sleeping much less and it doesn't bother me. I'm not tired. Generally, I'm just not that tired. And I'm eating much less. So I've lost tons of weight. I lost a stone in weight. Nikki has as well. So I'm eating less, sleeping less, and just feeling good. And the main thing is that I don't have those thoughts. I don't have depressive thoughts in the same way. Now, and if I do get them, it's about doing the practice. It's about doing breathing, and that shifts me. I've never done anything that has enabled me to change as much as this has, enabled me to have a hold on my well-being and my feeling of health. And I'm constantly able to work on that. I have been able to really, in a very concrete way, change my life, but it's also working for it the whole time. Beginner's course, it was brilliant. It was such a push forward. I was trying to do it by myself, and it was completely different having done the beginner's course. It really got me going. I started cleansing, doing it. It was a real push forward to do that. And now doing the intermediate course as well, I need the teaching. I need to be taught. And that really pushes me forward. And I started cleansing as well during the intermediate course. So things really started moving.
Schmu, you did the kids workshop.
I've become happier. I've not got headaches anymore when I used to get loads of headaches. I'm able to get more out of my day. I'm not getting ill as much.
You had days off school.
I used to have loads of days off because I was ill, and I'm just like a healthier and happier person.
I know you work in the stables. You love horses, don't you?
Yeah, it's a long day there. I'm probably there for a good 10 hours a day, and I'm able to keep going, and it's hard work each day. Like, it's physical work, and I'm able to keep going, and I think it's helped me give my best.
Do you think your mum and dad could stop clattering the background?
Clearing up. I came to Buteyko for my asthma, but it's changed. It's changed all the things I wanted to change. You know, dieting, and I didn't know that you lose weight in Buteyko. I had no idea about that, even though I'd watched loads of testimonials. I never saw the ones that said you lose weight. And suddenly I lost all this weight. And then I realised that it is an effect. But I really felt like I hadn't done anything. And people say to me, you've lost so much weight. And they say, how did you do it? I said, I breathe. It would be much better if we had the bar mitzvah now. The photos now. I had to ask her to doctor all my double chins. Don't have them now.
She's not ratty and stressed and always panicking and shouting. She's just calmer, easier, and a nicer person to be around.
I did the walking with one nostril. So I thought I just have to get a whole shot of carbon dioxide in. And I don't want to sit. I've done so many sittings in the car all the way here, pauses. I need to move. I'm all walking around, my nose is just streaming. And they thought I looked like an idiot. I said, yes, but I do this or I have an asthma attack. And I was fine. And I went to bed with a CP of 20. I feel like this is my tool of health. If I'm in difficulty, I just have to do a pause.
Towards the end of the afternoon, I started to get a headache. That would basically start me off, and I would have basically a migraine that evening, or probably vomit. So I did a set, and it just went. I was fine. It was amazing, really. It was really great. And so, you know, now I don't get headaches in the same way. Again, they're managed. I'm able to manage them. I think it's good we're doing this together, so we both know what we're doing, and we're constantly sort of checking in with each other of how we're doing. I think we've been able to cope much better.
I think our relationship is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you?
Go on, why? What?
But I think we communicate better. We're softer with each other.
Mm-hmm. It's now, in a sense, it's not acceptable to be losing it and to be shouting or to be whatever. It's about managing how you are. About Schmu, we had friends over. They were talking about Buteyko and like their son. I think, you know, it would be really great if he did it. But Schmu was such an advocate. He was like being such an advocate for this breathe it for it, and I was really like struck by how positive he was being about it. And that was really interesting. It's like, it's difficult, I think, as a teenager to take something on that your parents are doing and to do what's healthy and to do, you know, I think it's difficult. And he's doing sort of like the minimum that he needs to do in order to keep in with it. But he actually really believes in it. Well, you know, hearing him talk about it, he showed that he really believed in it.
And I showed him your email about Christopher Drake's talk. And he read it and he said, when I have children, I'm going to get them to do it really young. People say to me, so what do I do? Tell me, what should I do? I said, well, you have to do the course. You have to do it with the expert people, because it's like going through a medical transformation. Or if you would go to therapy without the therapist, and you wouldn't have an operation without the surgeon, it's a huge physiological change, and you need to have. I mean, I did that follow-up course. I didn't think I needed it. Thought, well, I'm going to do the intermediate course. I don't need the beginner's follow-up course. But actually, my asthma is taking me on a journey that I'm not moving to the place of intermediate as quickly. And I really valued that follow-up course with 3 different practitioners teaching. and each one gave me something really different. I mean, Vladimir said you have to be aware of your in-breath throughout the day. Now, I was told that in an email ages ago, and I remembered being told it, but I didn't. Suddenly, I sort of got that. I heard it, and it made sense. It just made a different sense. I'm more aware. I'm so much more aware of how I function and how my body is. It's like I've put a light on it. So where I used to sort of just heavy breathe and just manage being tight, and that's when I used to shout and not cope because I couldn't cope. So now I'm tight and I'm much more aware of that being tight. Like there's a light on it, and then I do something. And I don't take my inhaler. I can manage it all myself. I really can manage it. So I'm managing my asthma, and sometimes I have no asthma, but then I cleanse and something comes up. I do really well, and then it comes back. I had a cold in the week and I felt absolutely terrible for a day, and I got better so quickly. It might have even been flu. I felt really, really, terrible. And the next day, that all the symptoms had gone. I felt tired. I felt more wiped out, but the symptoms had gone. And by the day after, I had nothing. The recovery was amazing. And, recently people have had colds that have gone on for weeks, and mine just lasted a day.
I had a very similar thing, had a cold streaming, and I was doing the intermediate course, and it was like coming out, and like now I'm fine. I also developed a cough, and I used to have this cough, and the cough would go on for ages. Fine. It's like it's gone. It didn't last.
Well, how long would it have lasted in the past?
The cough?
In the past,
weeks.
I would have had the cough for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks,
His mum would get so anxious. You've still got that cough, that cough, that cough. She'd buy out cough mixtures all the time.
Can I say about your asthma? Nikki's had asthma for like 40 years. And she has been completely reliant on her medicine, on the inhalers. She has had to take it and really take it like very regularly. And when she didn't, she used to get into really bad trouble. And we've been down the hospital 3 times at least, where you've had, because it's been unmanageable. And it's gone from that to being a position that you now, where it's, it really feels as if it's being managed.
It's not fun, but like, it's not something you want to do. It's something you need to do. It's like a necessity. It's not like a bonus. It's something you have to do.
Well, it is a bonus.
Would you have been able to do it on your own without your parents doing it?
It's been helpful having someone encouraging me and like driving me to do it and helping me to remember to do it and make me want to do it in a way, like remind me what it's doing.
Would you like to say something about what number of steps you got to get a real significant difference in how you felt?
I think the big difference is when you reach 100. When you reach 100, or actually say 120, it feels different and you feel different, and it's a different process.
What do you feel?
Everything's easier.
That's an interesting point, Schmu, because when you do get to that 100 mark, 120 mark, what actually starts to happen is your breathing pattern changes. You're actually breathing less all day, and you get a real sense that you don't want to breathe a lot. And it just happens by itself with young people. As soon as they get to 100, 120 steps, it's done.
Like I find shallow breathing really easy. You were saying about how your breathing turns into like a baby's breathing, and it's so much more gentle and light and easy, and you don't really feel it.
What about that?
But it's a much nicer feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the next job you're going to experiment with is learning how to breathe while you're running. Is that correct?
Yeah. And I think I'm going to try while riding as well.
If there's noise, that's your sign that you're now beginning to lose control of your breathing.
So can there not be noise in the stomach pumping one? When you
There
let
is
go
noise
of your
afterwards.
breath, can there be noise? When you're recovering from the stomach pumping?
No noise.